Beloved child whom I call by name, hear me in this moment. For the world outside changes each day like shifting tides. Yet I, the Eternal One, remain unchanging. At this very hour, my voice rises above the storm, not to add another passing word that drifts away like smoke in the wind, but to deliver a message prepared from eternity. Nothing about this moment is accidental. It was etched into the blueprint of creation before your first breath. Before your heart beat its earliest rhythm, you are standing at the threshold of a new season, at a crossroads where every decision will echo into eternity. The weight of this hour is not meant to crush you, but to awaken you, to remind you that choices made now will shape destinies far beyond what your eyes can measure. If you truly long to walk forward without being swallowed by the waves that roar, then open wide the gates of your heart and cling with all diligence to the words I speak. For what is set before, you cannot be regained if ignored. And some doors close, never to open again. You are living in an era where movement quickens beyond measure, where the pace of change outstrips the wisdom of men, and where even the unseen tremors shake the deepest layers of the spiritual realm. It is not only the upheavals that you can see: political storms, shifting cultures, fleeting alliances, but invisible currents are sweeping through the soul of humanity, unseen to the natural eye, yet powerful enough to reorder destinies. Decisions taken in the hidden chambers of your heart today will shape your tomorrow more than any event outside. I see the pull that stretches you. Ambition whispers with promises of glory. Fear demands submission with threats of failure. The past chains you with regret and remembrance, while the memory of my promises still burns like embers beneath the ashes. In the middle of this clamor, my voice breaks through, not loud, not harsh, but steady, like a river carving its way through stone. Only those who attune their hearts to truth will hear it clearly, for it is drowned out by the noise to all who live distracted. Child, there is a force advancing quietly toward you. It does not announce itself at the door, nor does it ask permission with thunderous warnings. It creeps in subtlety, cloaked in disguises that seem pleasant, opportunities that appear harmless, comforts that lull the soul into slumber. I do not speak these things to sow fear in you, but to awaken vigilance. For this is the hour of watchfulness. Just as a soldier keeps his eyes open during the long watches of the night while the camp sleeps in silence, so you are called to stay spiritually alert. For shadows move where eyes are closed. The enemy does not always come with violent storms. Sometimes he comes clothed in ease, in sweetness, in what seems harmless but slowly corrodes the foundation. You must learn that danger does not always wear the face of terror. Sometimes it comes with the smile of distraction. And so I call you to discernment, to hold your gaze upon me so that the hidden schemes cannot gain entrance. I see the weariness you hide behind your smile, the questions buried deep in your chest, the sighs you dare not voice aloud. You have wondered in moments of silence, do I still have the strength to keep going, beloved? I know your strength will never be enough on its own. I have not called you to fight with your frail energy, for storms will always overwhelm human might. That is why I am your refuge, your strong tower, your ever-present help in trouble. You must learn to draw from the well that never runs dry. For your well is shallow, but mine is bottomless. As the scriptures declare, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 9:1-1. In my covering. No power can touch you except by my sovereign allowance. In my presence, fear loses its grip, lies lose their poison, and despair loses its power. Do not measure your ability to endure by your own frailty. Measure it by my faithfulness, which has never failed across generations. Child, what I am declaring is not a prediction wrapped in uncertainty, but a word issued from the throne of wisdom itself. Some dangers will not come with thunder, but as whispers, not as waves that crash suddenly, but as breezes that gently nudge you off the path. The peril of such winds is their subtlety you may not even notice until you have drifted far beyond safety. Like a ship that sails with its rudder set just 1 degree off course. It may seem small at first, but over distance, it leads to disaster. And so I pull you now, not later, not tomorrow, back to alignment, before the distance grows beyond reach. This is the mercy of my warning, that you would turn before regret becomes your teacher. Imagine your life as a garden planted by my hand. I have sown seeds of hope, purpose, and faith into your soil, watering them with the rains of grace and nurturing them with the warmth of my favor. Yet while you slept, an enemy has come, scattering tares among the wheat, ideas that sound appealing but are rooted in deception, temptations that sparkle with sweetness but lead to decay, compromises that appear harmless yet choke the good growth when left unchecked. These seeds do not sprout at once, they hide beneath the soil, waiting for their appointed time. If you do not recognize them early and uproot them, they will establish roots too deep, demanding far more effort to remove later. And I do not desire for you to exhaust yourself fighting wars that could have been prevented. That is why I speak now, to awaken you before weeds choke out the life I have planted in you. Step away from the blindness of complacency. Do not allow temporary victories or fleeting applause to convince you that all is well. The praises of men are but a vapor. The comforts of today can quickly become the snares of tomorrow. Remember, you are not at the end of your journey, but in the middle of it. And every journey has unexpected turns ahead. You need a foundation stronger than emotion, more enduring than fleeting confidence. That foundation is unbroken communion with me, the unshakable rock. Many voices will seek to guide you. Many philosophies will claim to offer wisdom, but only the word that proceeds from my mouth can pierce through chains and illuminate the night. Everyone who hears these words of mine and does them is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Matthew 7:2-4. That rock does not tremble when storms rage, because it rests not upon chance, but upon the immovable promise of the one who never changes. So now, as you hear these words, know this: they are not mere information to be stored in memory. They are an invitation into a posture of readiness, a state of being anchored, a call to stand unshaken regardless of the shifting winds outside. You will not survive because you hold all the answers, but because you hold the hand of the one who does. And if you cling to me, no force can snatch you from the orbit of my protection. Beloved child, hear this truth: vigilance is not fear, but the mark of a soul that has matured, one that has learned to discern between what is real and what is false. Many believe themselves safe simply because no danger is visible before their eyes, yet they stand upon ground that shifts like sinking sand. Do not be like them. I have placed within you my spirit, a guide who whispers even when the noise of the world grows deafening, a counselor who brings clarity when everything appears clouded, But to hear this voice, you must preserve stillness within. Silence, cultivated in the midst of a noisy world, is the sanctuary where my direction will always be found. Understand this: the most destructive assaults rarely aim at the obvious surface of life. They strike the foundations. They do not chop the trees of the forest one by one. They poison the waters that feed them. If the well of your faith, hope, and love becomes contaminated by bitterness or doubt, then every other area of your life will wither. That is why I call you to return continually to the pure spring of my presence, to let it cleanse every hidden toxin before it spreads. Do not allow envy to taint your heart. Do not allow unforgiveness to pollute the streams of your soul. For when the source is pure, every river that flows will bring life, not decay. And when you drink deeply of me, you will carry water that refreshes others who thirst. I know you have endured days when everything seemed to collapse at once. Unfinished plans, relationships strained, energy spent until your body trembled. There were moments you thought you could not rise again. But even in those hours, I held your hand firmly. I never promised you would avoid every storm, but I did promise you would never walk through them alone. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, the flames will not consume you. Isaiah 4:3-2. This covenant was not fragile. It remains as firm today as the day I spoke it. The reality of your pain does not diminish the reality of my presence. The shadows may grow thick, but they cannot extinguish the light I have placed around you. Child, you must know that true strength is not measured by how well you avoid hardship, but by how steadily you stand in its midst. Peace is not found when every storm ceases. It is discovered when you remain calm though waves rise around you. This is the quality I am shaping within you, not to make you cold or detached, but to transform you into a lamp that refuses to go out in darkness. A lamp fed by my eternal flame does not fear the wind, for no earthly gust can extinguish the fire of heaven. Others will watch and see that you do not tremble where they would fall, and your steadiness will become a testimony more powerful than many words. Trials do not come randomly. They are allowed so the depth of your roots might be revealed. Gold is not proven pure until it passes through the fire. Likewise, your soul is not shown resilient until tested. I do not permit these seasons to break you, but to uncover the treasure within you that even you do not fully know. Each time you endure, you not only grow stronger, but you become a living witness to my faithfulness. And your survival is not just survival, it is victory. For every scar becomes a story that proclaims my sustaining grace. Yet remember, not every battle is won through force. Some are won by wisdom. Know when to advance and when to hold back, when to speak and when to remain silent, when to confront and when to step aside. This too is spiritual maturity. I have armed you with the armor of light, but I have also given you the shield of patience. Not everything quick is good. Some things require time hidden in silence before they bloom. Just as a seed waits in the dark soil until its appointed season, so must you sometimes wait in faith, trusting that my timing is perfect. Impatience will try to push you ahead, but if you stay aligned with me, your steps will be in rhythm with heaven. Guard well the treasure planted in your heart. Do not let arrows of criticism or the pride of others shake your foundation. You are my workmanship, and every stone I place in your life has a precise place and purpose. No one can remove what I have set, unless you yourself abandon the design I gave you. Hold to the blueprint I have written. If you do, no hand can tear down what I have built, even if storms batter, even if voice accuse. The walls I establish around you will stand, for I am the master builder, and none can undo my work. If you find yourself at a crossroads, pause and seek my counsel before you choose your direction. The wide road may look easy and attractive, but it does not always lead to life. The narrow way may seem difficult, but it is often the path of destiny. You cannot see the end of every road, but I can. I know where each path leads, and if you trust me, you will never regret the road I guide you onto. Do not lean on your own understanding. Acknowledge me, and I will make straight your ways. Every choice, no matter how small, carries consequence. Let my spirit guide each step, and you will walk in wisdom, even when others call you foolish. Do not act from fleeting emotion, for emotions change like the wind. But my word endures forever. Anchor yourself not in how you feel, but in what I have spoken. Feelings rise and fall with circumstances, but my promise holds steady through eternity. When you use my word as your compass, the winding roads will still bring you to peace. That is why I remind you, let each action flow from my guidance, not from impulse. Discipline your heart to pause, to listen, to seek me before you move. You will see that even in the most confusing seasons, you remain secure, because your foundation is not shifting sand, but eternal rock. Therefore, rise and guard the portion of land I have entrusted to you. Do not only defend it, strengthen it. Fortify the foundation of your faith. Feed your mind with truth, and keep your heart soft to my leading. For once the roots grow deep, no storm, however fierce, will uproot you. And when you stand, you will not stand for yourself alone. You will become a pillar others can lean upon when their own strength fails. Your stability will be a shelter for those still trembling, a refuge for those who cannot yet discern my voice. That is why I call you to readiness, not only for your sake, but for theirs. Beloved child, know this: the journey set before you is not a chain of random events. Every turn, every season, both joy and sorrow, rests within a design carefully woven by my hand. Even when you feel lost in a wilderness without a map, remember that I hold the compass. No step you take is wasted when you walk with me. Even when you believe you have strayed, it may be that I am redirecting you away from a path where snares lie in wait. You see only fragments, but I see the entire tapestry, and each thread is aligned with purpose. Trust that nothing in your life escapes my attention. Each breath is precious, each moment accounted for, each tear gathered as seed for a harvest you do not yet see. I want you to learn to look beyond the surface. Do not judge a situation only by what meets the eye. What is visible is only a sliver of the entire picture. Consider the seed hidden underground before it breaks through the soil. No one sees progress, and the impatient conclude nothing is happening. Yet beneath the soil, life is stirring. Roots are spreading, and strength is forming in secret. In the same way, when you see no immediate outcome, do not assume I am absent. Often the greatest works begin in silence, invisible until their appointed time. My delays are not denials, they are preparations. What I start in secret I finish in glory. There will be seasons when I permit you to face trials, not because of wrong, but because they are the only soil where certain virtues grow. Muscles strengthen only under strain, and faith expands only when tested. If every road were smooth, you would never discover the resilience I placed within you. But when you climb the steep mountain, when you walk through fire yet remain unconsumed, you see what has been planted in your soul. These trials are not punishments, they are revelations. They show that you carry more than you imagined. And each victory becomes a testimony for those who come after you. Through your endurance, others will see my faithfulness mirrored, and they will gain courage for their own journey. Remember, preparation always precedes revelation. Before I entrust you with greater responsibility, I first strengthen the inner foundation. No mighty tree can stand against storms unless its roots are deep. The time I spend shaping you, refining you, is not delay, but investment. I know your capacity, your limits, and your hidden potential. I will not place upon you a burden beyond your ability, for I am the one who equips as well as commands. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Philippians 1:6. This promise is unchanging. What I start, I finish. What I plant, I bring to harvest. Beware, however, of the voice of discouragement that often comes during waiting. The adversary sows seeds of doubt, whispering that you have been forgotten, that promises are illusions, that nothing will change. If you accept those lies, the seed of hope within you will wither before it bears fruit. But if you remain steadfast, nurturing faith with prayer and my word, you will see shoots of new life rising when least expected. Endurance in hidden seasons is not wasted. It is the soil of miracles. Those who persist in darkness will one day dance in the light, and their testimony will be stronger because they trusted when nothing seemed to shift. Understand that I have not called you merely to survive, but to overcome. Survival breathes a sigh of relief when trouble passes. Victory emerges with greater strength, vida visión, and deeper faith. I do not desire that you merely escape harm. I intend for you to inherit the reward trials prepare. That reward is not always visible success, but maturity within the kind no one can take from you. To overcome is to walk out of hardship, not only unbroken but transformed, carrying treasures forged in fire. That is why I say rejoice not just when storms end, but when you endure them. For each storm hides a gift of growth that only perseverance can unlock. True triumph is not found in avoiding every risk, but in facing them with me. Think of those who crossed the Red Sea walls of water, stood high on each side, and yet they walked forward on dry ground because I was in their midst. To human eyes it seemed impossible, but my presence made a way. So it will be for you. I may lead you into places that seem surrounded by impossibility, yet it is there my power shines brightest. What men call traps, I call platforms for deliverance. What looks like prison walls, I transform into doors of freedom. Walk with courage. The impossible is simply the canvas where I paint my glory. Surrender your desire to control every detail. You do not need to know the whole path to trust me. Faith does not rest in full knowledge, but in full confidence of the one who knows. When you release your grip and allow me to steer, you will discover that even unexpected bends serve my purpose. Later, when you look back, the pieces will align into a perfect picture. though now they may seem disjointed. Learn to trust before you understand, for understanding often follows obedience, not precedes it. Therefore, do not let fear of the unknown paralyze your steps. Do not allow the voices of others to drown out my whisper within. Hold fast to what I have spoken, for my word is a lamp to your feet and a shield to your soul. Each day, draw closer to me, that when the time comes to act, you will step without hesitation. Remember, I am not only waiting at the end, I walk with you every breath, every decision, every heartbeat. You will never face a day without me by your side. Beloved child, see that the events around you are not merely earthly happenings, but reflections of an unseen battle, forces war, not with swords of steel, but with thoughts, decisions, and visions that seek to shape your destiny. If you focus only on external signs, you will be misled, but if you listen to my spirit, you will hold steady even when the fog thickens. Victory begins not when enemies fall, but when the heart remains unshaken. Guard your mind diligently, as a watchman guards the city gate, not permitting foreign thoughts to enter. Bring every idea captive to Christ. For in this discipline lies freedom. A distracted mind becomes the soil of doubt, and doubt, if watered, produces fear, which then gives birth to poor choices. But a mind anchored in my truth cannot be uprooted. My beloved child, as you step into the next season of your journey, I want you to recognize the difference between endurance and destiny. Many endure without direction, circling the same wilderness for years, mistaking survival for fulfillment. But I have not called you to wander without purpose. I have charted a path of destiny that leads beyond mere existence into abundance, beyond questions into revelation, beyond shadows into the brilliance of light. The line between these two, endurance and destiny, is drawn by trust. Endurance is what you do when you rely only on your strength. Destiny is what unfolds when you rely on mine. You must understand that destiny is not stumbled upon by accident. It is chosen, cultivated, and embraced. Like Israel leaving Egypt, freedom alone was not the final goal. There was a promised land ahead, yet many never saw it, because though they left bondage, their minds remained bound. They had been delivered outwardly, but refused to believe inwardly. Do not let this be your story. Do not allow fear, doubt, or memory of old chains to rob you of the inheritance I have prepared. Step forward not as a slave who escaped, but as a child who belongs. Destiny is not reached by feet alone, but by faith that dares to believe what I have spoken, even when all evidence seems contrary. To live in destiny is to recognize that you are not a byproduct of chance, but a deliberate design of heaven. Every detail of your being carries intention. Your abilities, passions, even your struggles are not meaningless. They are tools I intend to use. Just as David's experience with the sling was preparation for Goliath, so the skills and scars you carry are not wasted. I am weaving them into a greater story. What seemed like random events will reveal themselves as training grounds when you look back. Trust that every season has equipped you for what lies ahead. You are not ill-prepared. You are divinely prepared. But know this: destiny requires surrender. You cannot cling to every comfort and still grasp the future I have for you. Abraham left his homeland. Moses left his palace. Ruth left her past. The disciples left their nets. Destiny always demands letting go of something lesser to embrace something greater. Release what no longer carries my breath. Do not grieve what I have removed. I never take without reason. What you see as loss may actually be clearing space for the new. I prune not to harm, but to ensure fruitfulness. Every branch that remains in me will bear much fruit. And pruning is the sign that greater harvest is on the way. In walking toward destiny, beware of distractions masquerading as opportunities. Not everything that glitters is gold, and not every open door is from me. The enemy often presents counterfeit shortcuts that promise speed, but lead to emptiness. If you run after every chance without discernment, you may end up exhausted in places I never called you to enter. That is why you must cultivate intimacy with me. In my presence, you will discern my voice, and my spirit will guide you with peace that counterfeit paths cannot imitate. Do not let impatience push you into decisions that chain you to detours. Destiny is reached not by rushing, but by walking in step with me. Child, hear this truth: destiny is not fragile. What I have decreed cannot be erased by man's opinion, delayed by obstacles, or canceled by your past. The gifts and call I have placed on your life are irrevocable. You may wander, you may stumble, but my purpose remains steadfast. When you return to me, I realign the compass. Even mistakes become testimonies when surrendered. Do not live in regret, for I waste nothing. I redeem what the enemy meant for harm. He transform into good. When you thought you had derailed my plan, you will discover I had already accounted for every detour. My grace is not merely repair, it is transformation. Still, destiny requires your agreement. I will not force you into fullness. I invite you. Love never coerces, it calls. Many are called, but few respond. The invitation to destiny is extended to all, but only those who believe and obey will walk in it. Your yes matters. Heaven responds to obedience with favor. Do not underestimate the power of small obediences, for they stack into breakthroughs. What seems insignificant today may be the hinge on which tomorrow swings. A whispered prayer, an act of kindness, a choice to forgive. Each step of obedience moves you closer to the center of my will. Consider this: destiny is not a distant finish line, it is lived daily. It is not only about where you end up, but about who you become along the way. If you see destiny only as a far-off future, you will miss the beauty of my work today. Every sunrise is a canvas of destiny. Every encounter carries divine possibility. Every trial trains you for triumph. Live awake, for you walk in holy ground more often than you realize. The burning bush was not special until Moses turned aside to notice. Then it became a portal of calling. Do not rush past the ordinary, for often it conceals the extraordinary. I remind you also that destiny is communal. I did not design you to walk alone. Just as iron sharpens iron, you need others who will stir faith, correct your course, and encourage your spirit. Isolation is the enemy's trap, convincing you that you are forgotten or that no one understands. But I have placed voices, mentors, and companions along your path. Some will walk with you for a season, others for a lifetime, but each carries a piece of the encouragement you need. Do not despise their presence. Learn from them, honor them, and recognize when I send them as answers to prayers you thought went unheard. Finally, child, lift your eyes. Do not measure your future by your past. Do not shrink your vision to fit yesterday's failures. I am the God who makes rivers in the desert and paths in the wilderness. If I could bring life from a tomb, I can bring purpose from your pain. No chain is too strong, no pit too deep, no history too broken for me to rewrite. Your destiny is not limited by human evaluation. It is anchored in divine promise. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 2:9-11. This promise stands as a banner over your life. Sorrise. Beloved, walk not as one merely enduring, but as one pursuing destiny. Do not settle for circles when I have designed a straight path. Do not allow fear to chain your feet when faith was meant to lift your wings. You are called, chosen, and appointed. The question is not whether I have a plan, it is whether you will trust it enough to walk in it. Choose destiny. Choose obedience. Choose me. And as you do, you will discover that every promise I have spoken is not just words, but reality waiting to unfold in your life. My beloved, understand this: truth destiny is never handed cheaply. It is precious, and what is precious is always contested. The moment I declare purpose over your life, opposition awakens. Do not be surprised when storms rise after my promises, for every word spoken must be tested. Yet the testing is not to disqualify you, but to fortify you. What is forged in fire cannot be easily broken. The enemy fights hardest where heaven has invested the most. The presence of warfare is evidence of value. If you were insignificant, hell would not bother to resist. But because you are chosen, darkness trembles, and resistance surrounds you. Do not interpret struggle as abandonment. When opposition increases, it does not mean I am absent. It often means I am near. Consider, Joseph's dreams placed him in a pit and later in prison. But the dream was not dead, it was being refined. Consider Daniel. His prayers led him into a den of lions. Yet it became the stage for my glory. Consider the apostles, their obedience drew persecution. Yet the gospel spread because of it. You, too, will face resistance. But I will use it as the wind that propels rather than the storm that destroys. Destiny cannot be fulfilled without endurance through trial. Know that preparation always precedes promotion. Before David held a crown, he held a harp. Before he faced Goliath, he faced lions and bears in secret fields. What you endure in hidden places is training for visible victories. Do not despise the seasons of obscurity, for they are sacred classrooms. In the wilderness, you learn dependence. In the hidden place, you develop character. In waiting, you cultivate patience. These are not delays, but divine designs. Without roots, trees cannot withstand storms. I am deepening your roots so that when the winds blow, you will not topple. Destiny requires refinement not only of circumstance but of character. I do not merely prepare opportunities, I prepare you. Doors can open, but if you are not ready, they will crush you instead of bless you. That is why I work in your heart as much as in your future. I strip pride, heal wounds, teach humility, and strengthen faith. I will not give you what you cannot carry without compromise. The waiting is not punishment, it is protection. Trust that my timing is perfect, even when it feels slow. To you, it may seem like delay. To me, it is alignment. Be aware, too, That destiny will attract counterfeit voices. Some will flatter, some will manipulate, some will distract. Not every hand that reaches for you is sent by me. Not every voice that calls you is speaking truth. This is why discernment is vital. My spirit whispers, guiding you beyond the noise. Do not be led by applause, be led by peace. Do not measure by popularity, measure by presence. The enemy is cunning, but my spirit within you is greater. Listen, and I will reveal who is for you and who is against you. Child, understand that spiritual warfare is not fought by human strength alone. You cannot defeat invisible forces with visible weapons. That is why I have given you armor, the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, the sword of my word, and the shoes of peace. Use them daily. Do not leave yourself uncovered. The enemy seeks to exploit weakness, but armor makes you unshakable. When arrows of accusation come, lift your shield. When lies whisper, wield my word. When discouragement presses, stand firm in peace. You are not defenseless. You are armed by heaven. And remember this, you fight not for victory, but from victory. At the cross, I disarmed principalities and powers. The enemy may roar, but his defeat is sealed. His weapon is deception, convincing you that you are still bound when chains have already been broken. Do not give him ground through fear or agreement. Resist him, and he will flee. Speak truth over lies, worship over despair, faith over fear. The atmosphere shifts when my name is declared. There is power in praise, for praise silences the accuser. Destiny also demands resilience. You will face setbacks, but do not confuse a setback with an ending. Peter denied me 3 times, yet I restored him and built my church through him. Your failures do not disqualify you. They can become foundations of testimony. When you fall, rise. When you stumble, return. Grace is greater than weakness. Do not linger in shame. Shame chains, but repentance frees. I am not counting your sins to condemn. I am counting your steps to restore. Keep walking. Destiny is not for the perfect, but for the willing. Beloved, you must know that destiny is progressive. It unfolds step by step, season by season. Do not demand the whole picture when I have given you the next step. If I revealed everything, you would either run ahead or shrink back in fear. Instead, I light your path one step at a time. Trust the lamp, not the horizon. Tomorrow's provision will meet you tomorrow. Today's obedience is enough for today. Walk in the light you have, and greater light will come. Faith is not seeing all. It is walking in what you see until more is revealed. In the unfolding of destiny, guard your heart against bitterness. Disappointments will tempt you to harden. Betrayals may tempt you to close. Delays may tempt you to doubt. But a hardened heart cannot carry holy purposes. Keep your heart tender even when wounded. Forgive quickly. Release freely. Bless those who curse you. In doing so, you protect the purity of your spirit. Destiny is not carried by talent alone, but by love. Without love, the journey corrodes. With love, even pain becomes seed for harvest. I also remind you, destiny is not solely about you. It is about generations after you. The choices you make ripple beyond your lifetime. Abraham's obedience birthed a nation. Mary's surrender birthed a Savior. Paul's mission birthed churches that still stand. What you choose today shapes tomorrow's legacy. Do not underestimate the power of obedience. It builds altars that generations will lean on. What you overcome will make the way easier for those after you. What you compromise may burden them instead. Choose carefully, for destiny is generational. Therefore, rise with courage. Do not shrink back because the journey is hard. Hard is not the absence of God. It is often the proof of Him at work. Storms may rage, but I am in the boat. Giants may stand, but stones are in your hand. Fires may burn, but a fourth man walks with you. The impossible is only the backdrop for my power. Let your faith declare, if God is for me, who can be against me? Lift your head, for I am not only leading you through, I am leading you into. Beloved child, hear me now. The journey into destiny is not fragile, because I am the author of it. What I begin, I complete. I am not a man that I should lie, nor the Son of Man that I should change my mind. When I speak, it is settled in heaven. You are not wandering through random seasons. You are walking through an intentional story. Every chapter, even those written with tears, carries meaning. Nothing is wasted, not your battles, not your scars, not your delays. I redeem it all, weaving threads of pain into garments of glory. Lift your eyes from the present confusion and fix them on my promises. Do not define your life by the wilderness when I am leading you to the promised land. Do not measure your worth by the pit when a palace awaits. Joseph did not remain in chains forever. His prison became the hallway to a throne. Ruth did not remain in grief. Her loyalty positioned her for redemption and legacy. David did not remain a shepherd boy. His anointing led him to kingship. These are not distant stories. They are mirrors of what I am doing in you. You may say, Lord, I am weary. And I answer, I know, but I am your strength. You may say, the opposition is too strong. And I reply, greater is He who is in you than he who is in the world. You may say, I do not see the way forward. And I respond, I am the way. Do not let despair be your counselor. Let my word be your anchor. Heaven and earth may pass away, but my words will never pass away. Build your life on them, and you will not be shaken. I am calling you to walk in courage, not in fear. Fear will whisper, what if you fail? Faith will declare, what if God moves? Fear will remind you of every past disappointment. Faith will remind you of every past deliverance. Fear shrinks destiny to survival. Faith expands survival into significance. Which voice will you believe? Remember, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Fear is an intruder. Do not host it. Faith is your inheritance. Embrace it. Child, the time is nearer than you think. The alignment of heaven is already in motion. While you question if you are ready, heaven is declaring that it is time. Delays have expired. Assignments are shifting. Doors are unlocking. You will see favor you did not earn, strategies you did not imagine, and provision you did not plan for. This is not coincidence, it is covenant. I am not responding to chance, I am fulfilling promise. Trust that what comes next is not random but orchestrated. Yet, As you step into destiny, guard your gaze. Success can distract as much as failure. Do not measure yourself by achievements or by applause. Measure yourself by obedience. If you obey, you succeed. Whether the world recognizes it or not. Remember Saul, he had a crown but lost my presence. Remember Noah, he built an ark in obscurity, yet carried the seed of humanity. Presence is the true measure of destiny. As long as I am with you, you are never behind. You may wonder, what will it cost? Destiny always costs something. Abraham left his homeland. Moses left Pharaoh's palace. Esther risked her life before the king. Jesus endured the cross. But know this, whatever you surrender to me is not lost, it is multiplied. I never take without giving greater. I never prune without preparing fruit. I never close a door without opening a better one. What you give me in trust, I return in abundance. Do not fear the cost, for the reward outweighs it beyond measure. I am also reminding you that destiny is a journey of partnership, not isolation. I will place voices around you, mentors, allies, intercessors who carry keys you do not. Do not reject help out of pride. Do not dismiss counsel out of suspicion. I send people as extensions of my hand. They may not be perfect, but they will be positioned. Discern and honor them, for they are part of the tapestry of your calling. Alone you can endure, but together you can advance. Destiny is too large to carry alone. Do not overlook the power of small steps. Destiny is not fulfilled in a single leap, but in consistent obedience. Daily prayers, unseen acts of faithfulness, quiet moments of surrender all accumulate into breakthrough. The wall of Jericho did not fall on day one. It fell after persistent steps of faith. Elijah's rain did not appear at the first prayer, but after the seventh, the widow's oil did not overflow until she kept pouring. Likewise, your consistency will unlock what looks impossible. Do not underestimate the weight of faithfulness. Beloved, I am also addressing the wounds that made you question your worth. You thought betrayal disqualified you, but it trained you to discern. You thought loss broke you, but it taught you compassion. You thought waiting wasted you, but it built your endurance. Every wound became a well of wisdom. You are not empty, you are equipped. You are not broken, you are rebuilt. You are not disqualified, you are defined by grace. I have chosen you, knowing every scar, and I will use you not despite them but through them. The world will see the outward unfolding, but you will know the inward story that I sustained you when no one else saw, that I carried you when your strength failed, that I whispered when silence surrounded you. Destiny is not only about where you arrive, but about who walked with you on the way. In the end, you will say, if it had not been the Lord on my side, I would have perished. And your testimony will become a beacon for others who still wander. So now, my child, rise. The night is ending, and dawn is breaking. Shake off the dust of despair, and clothe yourself with strength. Lift your voice in praise, for praise is the language of victory. Step forward, not with hesitation, but with holy confidence. The one who calls you is faithful, and he will do it. You are stepping into alignment, stepping into inheritance, stepping into destiny. Do not look back, for the past is closed. Do not fear forward, for I go before you. This is your moment, not because of who you are, but because of who I am in you. Beloved child, Now begins the unfolding of what you could not yet imagine. Destiny is not only about the external path, but about the internal transformation. What I am shaping within you is just as vital as what I am leading you into. Do not be deceived. Before crowns come character. Before assignments come alignment. Before platforms come a purification. The journey into destiny requires that your heart be formed to carry what your hands will hold. And I, the potter, am molding you layer by layer. Unseen but undeniable. You once thought transformation meant erasing your past. But no transformation means redeeming it. I take the fragments you considered useless and fuse them into strength. The failures you tried to bury become foundations of wisdom. The tears you shed in secret water, the soil of compassion. The nights you thought wasted have prepared you for the dawn. Nothing is accidental. Everything is intentional when it rests in my hands. Like clay under fire. You are not destroyed, you are refined. The furnace does not erase. It strengthens. The storm does not shatter. It shapes. This is the mystery of transformation. What was meant to break you has built you. Transformation begins where surrender deepens. As long as you cling to your own strategies, you cannot carry mine. I am not asking you to add me to your plans. I am asking you to lay your plans down and receive mine. For my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. You see only today, but I see eternity. You see obstacles, but I see opportunities. You see endings, but I see beginnings. Trust me with what you do not understand, for obedience is greater than understanding. Abraham did not know where he was going, but he obeyed and became the father of nations. Mary did not know how it could be, but she said, "Be it unto me according to your word." And the word became flesh. Obedience births transformation. Child, do not despise the process. The process is not punishment, it is preparation. When David faced lions and bears in the field, it was not wasted, it was training for Goliath. When Joseph served in Potiphar's house, it was not humiliation, it was education for administration. When Esther endured hidden years, it was not neglect, it was positioning for a throne. What feels like delay is often divine design. You are not late, you are being refined. The wilderness is not the end, it is the classroom of destiny. Transformation is also about identity. You must see yourself as I see you, not as the world has labeled you. You are not defined by rejection, but by election. You are not marked by your failures, but by my favor. You are not limited by your weakness, but empowered by my spirit. When Gideon called himself the least, I called him a mighty warrior. When Jeremiah called himself too young, I put my words in his mouth. When Peter denied me, I restored him to shepherd my flock. What you call disqualified, I call chosen. What you call broken, I call beloved. What you call ordinary, I call appointed. Transformation begins when you agree with my identity over you. But know this identity is tested in silence before it is revealed in sight. Jesus heard the Father's voice declare, "This is my beloved Son," before the wilderness tested him. You too will face trials that question what I have spoken. The enemy will whisper, "If you were truly called, why is this happening?" But remember, trials do not nullify identity, they confirm it. Do not measure my love by circumstances, measure it by the cross. The cross is eternal evidence that my love for you cannot be shaken. Transformation requires that you anchor your identity in me, not in outcomes, not in opinions, not in seasons. As transformation deepens, you will notice that what once controlled you no longer holds power. Old fears lose their grip. Old patterns lose their influence. Old lies lose their volume. Where once anxiety ruled, peace will reign. Where once bitterness grew, forgiveness will flourish. Where once despair clouded, hope will rise. This is not self-improvement, it is divine renewal. You are not fixing yourself, you are being recreated by my Spirit. Remember, if anyone is in Christ, they are a new creation. Old things pass away, and all things become new. Beloved, I do not transform you just for your sake, but for others who will encounter me through your life. Your testimony will become their lifeline. Your scars will become their signposts. Your deliverance will become their encouragement. Transformation is never isolated, it multiplies. Just as the boy's 5 loaves and 2 fish fed a multitude when placed in my hands, so your surrendered life will feed countless souls. Never underestimate what I can do with a life fully yielded. What looks small becomes significant when surrendered. You may feel the weight of unworthiness rise when you hear these words. Lord, can you really use me, you ask? Hear my answer, yes. Because I chose you before you chose me. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. The treasure is in jars of clay, so that the surpassing power belongs to me, not to you. Do not disqualify yourself where I have already qualified you. Transformation is not about your perfection, but about my presence. Therefore, I am calling you to step into deeper intimacy. Transformation is sustained not by striving, but by abiding. Abide in me, and you will bear much fruit. Without me, you can do nothing. Let prayer be your breath. Let my word be your compass. Let worship be your atmosphere. The more you abide, the more you reflect me. Like Moses, whose face shone after meeting me, so too will your life radiate my presence. You will not need to force influence. My glory will rest upon you, and others will sense it. Child, the journey ahead will still hold challenges, but you will not face them the same. Transformation means you no longer fight for victory, but from victory. The cross secured your triumph, and the resurrection sealed your hope. Whatever rises against you must bow to the one within you. Transformation is not escaping battles, it is carrying a new strength into them. You are no longer the same. You are rising in courage, clothed in purpose, saturated in grace. So rise now, not timidly but boldly. You are stepping out of survival into significance. You are leaving behind the garments of shame and putting on the robe of righteousness. You are trading ashes for beauty, mourning for joy, heaviness for praise. The transformation is real, and it is unfolding even now. Trust me, yield to me, and walk in the newness I have ordained. For I am not only the God who calls you, I am the God who transforms you into the vessel capable of carrying destiny. Beloved child, understand, this transformation is never a solitary journey. You were not designed to walk alone. Every step you take, I am with you. Every valley you cross, my rod and my staff comfort you. Even when shadows loom and fear rises, my presence surrounds you. Do not confuse silence with absence. For even when you do not feel me, I am closer than your breath. The promise I gave long ago still stands. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Others may abandon. Seasons may shift. But my companionship is eternal. Consider how I walked with my people through history. I did not just lead Israel out of Egypt. I went before them as a cloud by day and a fire by night. I did not only anoint David for the throne, I was with him in the fields, in the caves, and even in his failures. I did not simply call the disciples, I walked the dusty roads with them, teaching, correcting, restoring. So too, I walk with you, not only in your victories, but in your struggles, not only in public moments, but in private ones, not only when you are strong, but especially when you are weak. Child, you must see trials through the lens of my presence. A storm without me would crush you, but a storm with me becomes a stage for miracles. Remember the disciples panicking in the boat as waves crashed around them. They thought the storm would destroy them. Yet the storm became the very moment I revealed my authority over nature. So it is with you. Challenges are not evidence of my abandonment, but opportunities for you to witness my power. What was meant to drown, you will declare my glory. Do not despise the battles, for battles reveal victory. Goliath was not an obstacle to David's destiny. He was the pathway to it. The Red Sea was not the end for Israel. It was the threshold of deliverance. The cross was not the defeat of Christ. It was the triumph of resurrection. Likewise, what you face now is not the conclusion, but the construction of destiny. Each battle you endure is shaping endurance. Each wound is forming wisdom. Each setback is creating setup. The kingdom operates on reversal. The last shall be first. The weak shall be strong. The rejected shall be chosen. As you walk with me, you will notice how I turn what was bitter into sweetness. Do you remember the waters of Marah? The people complained because the water was undrinkable. Yet I instructed Moses to throw a piece of wood into it, and it became sweet. This is what I do with your life. What tasted like bitterness, you transform into sweetness. What once felt unbearable, I redeem into testimony. I take your pain and turn it into purpose, your grief into growth, your struggle into strength. Nothing is wasted when surrendered to me. Walking with me also means learning to depend, not on your own strength, but on my spirit. Human strength may carry you for a season, but it cannot sustain you for destiny. Even youths grow weary, and young men stumble. But those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They will rise on wings like eagles, run and not grow weary, walk and not faint. This is the secret of enduring transformation, not striving harder, but surrendering deeper. It is not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit. Child, do not confuse delay with denial. Many times you have asked, Lord, why not now? Why not sooner? But know this, I am not slow as you count slowness. I am precise, intentional, perfect in timing. If I release something before you are ready, it would crush you. If I place you on a platform without preparation, the weight would destroy you. Delay is my mercy, not my neglect. Every season of waiting is shaping capacity. Like a tree with deepening roots, you may not see growth above the soil, but below, I am fortifying your foundation. When you walk with me, even your detours are divine. Joseph was sold into slavery, falsely accused, thrown into prison. Yet every detour aligned him closer to his destiny. Ruth lost her husband, left her homeland, and gleaned in fields. Yet each detour led her to the lineage of kings. Paul was shipwrecked, beaten, imprisoned. Yet each detour expanded the gospel. Do not be discouraged by unexpected paths. Your story is not off track, it is in alignment with a greater plan. What feels like detour is destiny in disguise. And know this: walking with me changes the way you see yourself and others. You will begin to notice that you are no longer reacting from fear but responding from faith. The insults that once crushed you will lose their power. The rejections that once haunted you will become reminders of your true acceptance in me. The burdens that once seemed unbearable will be carried with my strength. As you walk with me, you will not only survive, you will thrive. You will not only endure, you will overcome. For greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. Beloved, I have not called you into comfort but into conquest. This does not mean a life without challenges, but a life of overcoming them. The promised land was not empty, it had giants. Yet he promised my people victory, not avoidance. So too, your destiny is not without opposition, but it is filled with my guarantee: no weapon formed against you shall prosper. The battle may rage, but the outcome is secure. You walk not toward victory, but from victory, for the cross has already secured it. Walking with me also means embracing continual transformation. Do not settle, thinking you have arrived. Destiny is not a single destination, but a series of revelations. Glory to glory, faith to faith, strength to strength. That is how I lead you. Each season unveils more of me, and in seeing me, you become more like me. The journey is ongoing, the transformation unending, until the day you see me face to face. So, my child, walk with confidence. You are not alone, not abandoned, not forsaken. My spirit is your comforter. My word is your light. My presence is your shield. Where others see defeat, you will see deliverance. Where others see endings, you will see new beginnings. Where others see impossibility, you will see miracles. Keep walking, step by step, day by day, trusting that I am not only with you, but within you. Lift your head. Beloved, the journey is not meant to break you, but to build you. Every battle will testify of my faithfulness. Every valley will prove my nearness. Every season will reveal my sovereignty. Walk on, for destiny is unfolding. Walk on, for transformation is deepening. Walk on, for the God who began a good work in you will carry it to completion. Beloved child, now is the time of breakthrough. The days of circling the same mountains are ending. You have wandered long enough in deserts of delay and valleys of disappointment. But the horizon before you is not one of endless wandering. It is the threshold of promise. The walls that confined you are trembling. The doors that were locked are beginning to open. The ceiling that pressed against your spirit is shattering. Because I, the Lord your God, I am declaring a new season over you. Breakthrough does not come through human calculation, but through divine intervention. Recall the walls of Jericho. They did not fall by hammer or sword, but by obedience to my word. The people marched. They shouted, and I caused the walls to collapse. So it is with you. What seems impossible will yield not to your striving, but to your surrender. When you align with my voice, when you obey even what seems illogical, You release the power of heaven into your situation. Your shout of faith is louder than the noise of fear. Your obedience carries more weight than the opposition against you. Child, you have endured much, and none of it has been wasted. The tears you sowed in midnight hours are now becoming the harvest of joy. The prayers you thought vanished into silence were stored in heavenly bowls, ready to be poured out. The seeds of faith you planted in barren soil are now breaking through. This is the law of my kingdom. What is sown in weakness is raised in power. What is buried in darkness will bloom in light. You may not recognize it yet, but resurrection is already at work. Breakthrough also requires letting go of the old. Israel could not cling to Egypt while entering Canaan. You cannot carry yesterday's chains into tomorrow's freedom. Release what I have asked you to release. Let go of bitterness, for it poisons the soil of promise. Lay down fear, for it blinds you to opportunities I have prepared. Do not look back with longing like Lot's wife, for looking back will paralyze you. Fix your eyes forward, on the author and finisher of your faith. Child, if you let go of what is dying, I will place in your hands what is living. Understand this, breakthrough is not just for survival but for expansion. I did not deliver Israel merely to escape Pharaoh, but to inherit a land flowing with milk and honey. I did not raise Lazarus only to prove I had power over death, but to reveal that life itself stands in my presence. I am not releasing you merely from struggle, but into abundance. Your testimony will not be, I survived, but I thrived by the hand of the Lord. The world will see that you are not just delivered, but established. Not just freed, but flourishing. And hear me clearly, your breakthrough is not only personal, but generational. The chains I am breaking in your life will not bind your children. The curses that shadowed your family line will stop with you. The cycles of addiction, poverty, fear, or rejection will end under my authority. What once repeated for generations will be broken because you chose to stand in my presence. You will pass down not patterns of pain, but legacies of faith. Just as Abraham's obedience blessed his descendants, your surrender will bless those who come after you. Beloved, breakthrough also means authority. Once timid, you will now speak with courage. Once hesitant, you will now move with boldness. Do you recall how Peter denied me 3 times in fear, yet after the Spirit fell, he stood before thousands and proclaimed my name without trembling? That same Spirit is in you. You will rise with authority, not born of self-confidence, but of divine confidence. The lion within you will roar, not because you are fearless, but because you know the one who conquered fear itself. This new season is marked by open heavens. Where prayers once felt blocked, answers will flow swiftly. Where provision seems scarce, abundance will multiply. Where doors remained closed, favor will push them wide. It is not coincidence. It is covenant. I have watched your faithfulness in small things, and now I entrust you with greater. I am positioning you in places you never imagined, connecting you with people you did not expect, and granting you influence you could not earn. All this is not for your glory, but for mine, that the nations may know I am the Lord. Yet remember, breakthrough is not the end, but the beginning of greater responsibility. Israel entered the promised land, but they had to cultivate it, defend it, and steward it. Likewise, as I bring you into new territories, you must remain rooted in my presence. Do not let success make you forget the source. Do not let abundance dull your hunger. Stay watchful, For the enemy will try to whisper lies even in victory. But take heart, the one who brought you here will sustain you here. Child, you are stepping into a season where miracles will become your testimony. Healings that doctors cannot explain. Provisions that logic cannot account for. Reconciliations that seemed impossible, these will mark your days. Your life will become a signpost pointing others to my power. Where once people pitied you, they will marvel. Where once they doubted you, they will witness my hand. The very place of your pain will become the platform of your proclamation. Now rise, beloved, dust off the ashes of the past. For beauty is upon you. Shake off the garments of mourning. For joy is your portion. Lift up your eyes. For the fields are ripe with harvest. Do not shrink back in fear, stretch forward in faith. You are not stepping into another cycle of defeat, but into a divine chapter of destiny. I, the Lord your God, am going before you, making crooked paths straight, breaking bronze gates, and cutting through iron bars. This is your time of breakthrough. This is the unveiling of what I promised. This is the season when your captivity turns into celebration. What once was your midnight will become your morning. The song of sorrow will transform into the anthem of joy. Walk boldly, for heaven is backing you. Move forward, for angels are assigned to you. Believe deeply, for my word cannot return void. Beloved child, breakthrough is not coming, it has begun. Step into it, live in it, declare it. For the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells in you, and nothing can withstand the hand of the Almighty moving on your behalf. Beloved child, as you step into this new chapter, understand that breakthrough is never the final destination. It is the doorway to your calling. The freedom I have granted you is not simply for your comfort, but for your commission. I did not part seas only so my people could dance on the shore. I parted seas so they could journey toward destiny. Likewise, I have broken chains in your life so you may rise, not to drift aimlessly, but to walk boldly into the purpose I ordained for you before time began. Faith is the currency of this calling. Without faith, you cannot walk the road before you. Recall Abraham, who left his homeland not knowing where he was going, yet trusting the voice that led him. By faith, he became the father of nations. Recall Moses, who trembled at the burning bush but chose to obey. And through his obedience, I delivered an entire people. Your story, too, hinges on faith, not a passive belief, but an active trust that propels you beyond what your eyes can see. Do not wait until every detail is clear. If you demand certainty before moving, you will remain in stillness forever. Faith requires stepping while the path is still unseen, trusting that I, your shepherd, go before you. The waters will not part until your feet touch them. The manna will not fall until you walk into the wilderness. The victory will not come until you face the battle. Child, your obedience activates heaven's resources. Do not fear the unknown, for the unknown is where my glory is revealed. I am calling you out of hiding. For too long, you have shrunk back, doubting your worth, questioning your abilities, fearing rejection. But I remind you, I chose you before you chose me. I equipped you long before you knew there was a task. Like Jeremiah, who protested, I am too young. Or Gideon, who cried, I am too weak. You have looked at yourself through human eyes. But I, the Lord, look not at appearance or age or strength. I look at the heart, and I have placed in your heart everything needed to fulfill your calling. Your calling is not limited by your past, the failures you lament, the mistakes you regret, the scars you hide. They do not disqualify you. On the contrary, they become the very places where my power shines brightest. Consider Paul, once a persecutor, transformed into an apostle. Consider Peter, who denied me, yet became the rock of the church. Child, he delight in rewriting stories. The ashes of your past are the soil of your future, where others see disqualification. I see preparation. Your calling is also not defined by comparison. You are not asked to walk in another's shoes, but in your own. David did not defeat Goliath with Saul's armor, but with a sling and stones, the tools he knew from tending sheep. Likewise, I have given you unique gifts, talents, and experiences. Do not despise them. Do not wish you had another's voice, another's influence, another's platform. What I placed in you is intentional. Your authenticity is your anointing. Walk in it confidently, for no one else can carry the assignment I entrusted to you. Understand that calling comes with opposition. Destiny always attracts resistance. When Nehemiah rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem, enemies mocked and threatened him, yet he built with a sword in one hand and a trowel in the other. So it will be with you. Do not interpret opposition as absence of my will. Often, it is the clearest sign you are on the right path. The enemy does not waste energy attacking what poses no threat. The fact that you face resistance means you carry significance. Stand firm. Do not retreat. The one who called you will also defend you. Child, your calling is not small. It might begin quietly, like a seed hidden in soil, but it will grow into something far greater than you imagine. Do not measure its worth by immediate results. When Jesus spoke of the mustard seed, he reminded you that small beginnings hold great destinies. The words you speak, the acts of kindness you show, the prayers you pray in secret, they ripple farther than you know. Your obedience today lays foundations for generations tomorrow. This calling is not for your glory, but for mine. You are not the hero of the story. I am. Yet in my mercy, I invite you to co-labor with me, to carry my light into dark places, to be a vessel of healing, to proclaim hope where despair reigns. Do not think your role insignificant. Every time you love, every time you forgive, every time you choose faith over fear, you shift atmospheres. You release heaven into earth. You echo the kingdom in a world desperate for truth. And remember, you are not called to walk alone. Just as Moses had Aaron and Paul had Barnabas, I will align you with people who strengthen your arms and encourage your spirit. I am sending divine partnerships, those who will run with you, not against you. Do not isolate yourself in pride or fear. Community is part of your calling. Together, you will accomplish what you could not do alone. Beloved, your calling is urgent. Time is short, and the harvest is great. The world groans under the weight of darkness, but you carry the light. Do not delay. Do not bury your talent in the ground out of fear. Step out, for every day matters. Souls are waiting. Lives are hanging in the balance. And I have chosen you as my messenger in this appointed hour. Lift your head, child. Square your shoulders. Breathe deeply the air of freedom. You are no longer a prisoner of hesitation. You are a carrier of purpose. The same voice that summoned galaxies into being has spoken over your life. The same spirit that raised Christ from the grave dwells in you. The same covenant that sustained generations past is sustaining you now. Sorrise. Answer the call. Step into the unknown with boldness. For I am already there. Speak when I nudge you. Move when I lead you. And trust that I will never leave nor forsake you. This is not about what you can accomplish, but about what I will accomplish through you. Child, your calling is not a burden, but a privilege. It is the melody of heaven written into your being, waiting to be sung. It is the fire in your bones, waiting to be released. It is the reason you were formed, the destiny that eternity whispers over you. Do not fear it. Embrace it. For when you walk in your calling, you walk in the fullness of who you are meant to be. Child, now that you understand you are called, know this truth. Every calling requires preparation. You cannot step into destiny with an unprepared spirit. Just as a soldier does not enter battle without armor, you must clothe yourself with strength that does not come from the flesh but from my spirit. This is not the hour to be careless with your heart, your mind, or your time. Preparation is the hidden work that produces public fruit. Without it, your calling will collapse under the weight of untested foundations. The first foundation is prayer. Prayer is not a ritual to check off. It is your lifeline. In prayer, you breathe heaven's air. In prayer, you exchange your weakness for my strength, your confusion for my wisdom, your fear for my peace. Do not underestimate the power of consistent prayer. Daniel prayed 3 times a day, even when threatened with death, and his prayer life positioned him for divine deliverance. Jesus himself often withdrew to lonely places to pray, even though he carried the fullness of my spirit. If the Son of God made prayer his rhythm, how much more must you, child? Prayer is where your spirit is fortified and your ears are tuned to my voice. The second foundation is my word. The scriptures are not optional reading, they are the sword of the Spirit. When temptation came to Jesus in the wilderness, he did not respond with opinion, but with, "It is written." Without the word, you are defenseless against lies. The enemy is subtle, whispering distortion that seems almost true. Only my word pierces through deception. Do not let it gather dust on your shelf. Write it on your heart. Meditate on it day and night. Let it dwell in you richly. For when my word is alive within you, you carry authority that shakes darkness. Third, you must clothe yourself with the armor I have provided. Ephesians speaks of the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. These are not poetic images, but spiritual realities. Truth keeps you grounded when lies swirl around you. Righteousness guards your heart against condemnation. Faith extinguishes the fiery darts of fear and doubt. Salvation protects your mind from despair. The word strikes down every false voice. Without this armor, you are exposed. With it, you are untouchable, not because the enemy will stop attacking, but because his attacks will not prevail. Fourth, cultivate worship. Worship is more than songs. It is posture. It is surrender of self, an acknowledgement that I am greater, and a declaration that I reign even when circumstances shake. Worship shifts atmospheres. When Paul and Silas worshipped in prison, Chains fell and doors opened. Worship invites heaven to invade earth. Child, when you choose to lift your voice in the midst of trial, you release power that silences the enemy. Worship is both your weapon and your refuge. Preparation also involves pruning. There are habits, relationships, and distractions you must release. Not everything you carry now can go with you into your future. Some weights are not sinful, but they are slowing you down. As Hebrews says, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. This will require discernment. Some doors must remain closed. Some voices must grow silent. Some comforts must be surrendered. Trust me in the pruning, for I only cut what hinders growth. Every loss will make space for greater fruit. Discipline is part of preparation. Your calling requires stamina, and stamina is built through daily faithfulness. Do not despise the small tasks, the hidden obediences no one sees. David's preparation was not in palaces but in pastures, tending sheep, fighting lions and bears. That hidden training equipped him to face Goliath. Child, your unseen faithfulness today is equipping you for battles tomorrow. Do not rush past the process. What I am building in you privately will sustain you publicly. You must also guard your mind. Thoughts are gateways. If you allow fear, shame, or bitterness to linger, they will poison your spirit. Take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. Replace lies with truth. Speak life over yourself. Declare my promises aloud. Do not entertain voices that tear down what I am building. Feed your mind with what is pure, lovely, noble, and praiseworthy. What you dwell on will shape who you become. Community is another element of preparation. Lone wolves fall quickly, but those who walk together stand firm. Surround yourself with people who sharpen your faith, who challenge you to grow, who speak truth even when it stings. Do not align with cynics who mock my work or with doubters who drain your courage. Find companions of vision, those who run after me with passion. As iron sharpens iron, so will they sharpen you. Above all, preparation is about intimacy. You cannot fulfill your calling by copying formulas or strategies. You must walk closely with me. Do not mistake busyness for fruitfulness. The enemy loves to entangle you in activity that produces nothing eternal. Stay close to my heart. From intimacy flows clarity. From intimacy flows authority. From intimacy flows power. If you lose intimacy, you lose direction. Child, preparation may feel slow, but it is never wasted. Noah prepared an ark for years before the rain fell. Joseph endured prisons before he ruled in palaces. Esther was prepared for months before, one night before the king. Preparation seasons are sacred. They feel hidden, but heaven watches. Do not despise them. They are the soil in which your destiny takes root. I tell you this, when you are prepared, nothing will shake you. Storms may come, but you will stand, for your foundation is firm. Temptations may rise, but you will overcome, for your spirit is guarded. Opposition may roar, but you will not fear, for you know who goes before you. This is why preparation matters. It transforms fragile vessels into unshakable carriers of glory. So, clothe yourself daily. Pray continually. Feast on my word. Worship unashamedly. Guard your mind. Walk in community. Remain in intimacy. Then, When the moment of assignment arrives, you will not be scrambling to find strength. You will already be strong. You will not be scrambling to hear my voice. You will already recognize it. You will not be scrambling to muster courage. You will already be clothed in it. Beloved, your preparation is almost complete. Do not grow weary. Every prayer you pray, every scripture you memorize, every temptation you resist, every sacrifice you make, they are shaping you into a warrior, fit for your destiny. Soon, the hidden season will end, and the world will see the fruit of what has been planted in secret. Child, the season of preparation was not in vain. Now comes the unveiling, the moment when what I have built in secret will be displayed in the open. This is the hour when your calling collides with reality. Do not fear this unveiling, for you are not being pushed into battle unprepared. Every tear, every hidden prayer, every sacrifice has been shaping you for this moment. What once felt like delay is now revealed as design. What once felt like wilderness is now revealed as training ground. You are not stepping out alone. You are stepping forward with my presence going before you. When you step into your calling, expect opposition. The enemy does not sit idly when destiny awakens. Just as Goliath mocked David, just as Pharaoh resisted Moses, just as religious leaders opposed Jesus, there will be voices that try to intimidate you. Some will question your qualifications. Some will attempt to silence you. Some will distort your motives. But remember, opposition is not evidence of failure. It is confirmation that you are advancing. Hell does not war against what is stagnant. It wars against what threatens its grip. Take courage, for I have already overcome. This is the moment to apply what you have carried. Do not wait for feelings to align with faith. Step out even when knees shake. The waters of the Red Sea did not part until Moses lifted his staff. The walls of Jericho did not fall until Israel marched in obedience. Peter did not walk on water until he stepped out of the boat. Faith is not theory, it is action. Child, your obedience will trigger miracles. Do not underestimate the simple step of doing what I have asked. When challenges rise, do not lean on human strategy alone. My Spirit will give you wisdom that confounds the wise. Remember Joseph. His ability to interpret Pharaoh's dream was not from human learning but divine revelation. Remember Daniel. His clarity in the lion's den was not from self-confidence, but from unwavering trust in me. The power that sustains you will not be your own cleverness, but my Spirit working through you. Lean into me in every decision, and you will find solutions no man could craft. As you act in obedience, my power will manifest. Signs may follow not for your glory, but for mine. Healings may spring forth. Breakthroughs may occur. Hearts may be transformed. These are not results of your strength, but of my presence flowing through a yielded vessel. Do not chase the signs, chase obedience. Do not pursue wonders, pursue faithfulness. Signs and wonders will follow as natural fruit when you remain rooted in me. Yet, with power comes responsibility. Guard your heart against pride. Pride is the subtle thief that destroys destiny. Remember that even Paul carried a thorn to remind him that power belongs to me alone. Stay humble. Child, give me the glory always. When applause rises, direct it upward. When honor comes, lay it at my feet. You are a steward, not the source. Never forget, apart from me, you can do nothing. In the moment of action, fear will try to whisper, It will remind you of past failures, of weaknesses, of inadequacies. But fear is a liar. Do not converse with it. Silence it with truth. Declare my promises aloud. Speak over yourself. I am chosen. I am equipped. I am not alone. Greater is he who is in me than he who is in the world. As you speak truth, courage will rise. The same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. Nothing is impossible. Child, the unveiling will not always look glamorous. Sometimes stepping into calling means standing in unpopular places, saying hard truths, or serving in hidden assignments. Do not measure success by numbers or applause. Measure success by obedience. Noah looked foolish, building an ark in the sun, but his obedience preserved a generation. Jeremiah wept when others mocked, yet his voice carried eternal weight. Jesus was rejected by many, yet his obedience opened salvation for all. Faithfulness, not popularity, is the true mark of calling fulfilled. Remember also that calling is not a one-time event, it is a daily journey. Each act of obedience is part of the unfolding. Do not despise small beginnings. The seed of today becomes the harvest of tomorrow. Trust the process. Some fruit will be immediate. Some will take years. What matters is consistency. Keep sowing. Keep speaking. Keep serving. Keep loving. Heaven counts every act, even when earth overlooks. As you step forward, know that I will confirm my word. Just as fire consumed Elijah's sacrifice, just as the Spirit fell at Pentecost, I will show that I am with you. This confirmation may not always be dramatic, but it will be undeniable. Peace will accompany you. Doors will open, no man can shut. Provision will come in ways no human could orchestrate. Pay attention to the signs of my hand. They are assurances that you walk in my will. Child, this is not the end of your story, but the beginning of a greater chapter. What is being unveiled now is only a portion of what I intend to do through you. Stay anchored in me, and your influence will expand. Stay faithful, and your impact will multiply. Stay humble, and your legacy will endure. This unveiling is not about your name being exalted, it is about my kingdom advancing. Every word you speak, every step you take, every action you obey will ripple into eternity. Therefore, rise in courage. Step boldly, not because you are flawless, but because you are chosen. Act decisively, not because you know every outcome, but because you trust the one who holds the outcomes. Shine brightly, not for self-display, but to reflect the light that never fades. This is your moment, not earned, not manufactured, but entrusted by grace. Hear me, the unveiling will not be without battle, but neither will it be without victory. The cross looked like defeat, yet it birthed resurrection. Your battles will refine you, but they will not consume you. Your trials will test you, but they will also testify of my faithfulness. Take heart, every step forward is a step into triumph, for I have already written the ending you overcome. Child, rise. The season of silence has passed. The season of unveiling is here. Walk into it with head lifted high, heart surrendered, spirit burning. I am with you. My power surrounds you. My favor goes before you. Nothing can stand against what I have ordained. This is not the end of preparation, it is the beginning of manifestation. The world is about to see what heaven has known all along. You are mine, chosen for such a time as this. Child, stepping into your calling is not the conclusion of the journey, but the beginning of an even greater test. With every unveiling comes increased resistance. Just as dawn is often preceded by the darkest hour of night, the brightest breakthroughs are often preceded by the fiercest battles. Do not interpret resistance as abandonment. It is evidence that your life has become a threat to the darkness. When storms rise, remember that I am not distant. I am in the boat with you, calming seas with a word, or strengthening you to endure until the storm passes. There will be days when the pressure feels unbearable. Responsibilities will weigh heavy. Expectations will multiply, and critics will rise louder than encouragers. You will be tempted to withdraw, to question if you heard me correctly, to wonder if obedience was worth it. In those moments, anchor yourself, not in feelings, but in my promises. Feelings fluctuate like waves, but my word stands immovable. Remember what is written, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Matthew 2:4-3-5. If I spoke it, I will fulfill it. If I called you, I will sustain you. Faithfulness is not proven in comfort, but in conflict. Anyone can worship when the sun shines, but true devotion is revealed when shadows fall. Consider Job, who lost everything, yet declared, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Job 1:3-1-5. Consider Paul and Silas, who sang hymns in a prison cell, their voices rising above chains. These were not acts of naive optimism, but declarations of unshakable trust. Child, I am calling you to the same kind of endurance, a faith that sings in the night, a trust that clings when logic says, let go. Understand this, the enemy will aim to exhaust you, not merely oppose you. He will seek to drain your strength through subtle discouragement, unrelenting busyness, or waves of distraction. Guard your soul, for not every opportunity is divine, and not every demand requires your response. Learn to say no to what I did not assign, so that you may preserve strength for what I did. Rest is not weakness, it is obedience. Even I, the creator of heaven and earth, modeled rest on the seventh day. If I rested, should you not also, when loneliness sets in? Remember that even my son experienced it. In Gethsemane, his closest friends fell asleep while he carried the weight of impending sacrifice. He knew the sting of betrayal, the silence of heaven, and the isolation of obedience. Yet he endured for the joy set before him. Child, do not despise the seasons when you feel unseen. I see you. I am with you in the silence as much as in the spotlight. In fact, it is often in hidden seasons that the deepest roots of faith are formed. Resilience is not the absence of pain. It is the decision to keep moving through it. David wrote many psalms from caves, not palaces. His words were soaked in tears, yet they became timeless songs of hope. Your pain, too, can become a platform for others' healing if you place it in my hands. Do not bury your wounds in shame. Allow me to transform them into testimonies. What the enemy meant to destroy you with will become the very thing I use to deliver others. You must also guard against comparison. In the battlefield of calling, nothing weakens courage faster than measuring yourself against others. Each servant I call carries a different assignment. Moses was not Joshua. Elijah was not Elisha. Peter was not Paul. Each bore unique responsibilities and unique grace. Child, you are not called to replicate another's journey. You are called to fulfill your own. Comparison blinds you to what I have placed within you. Celebrate others without envying them. Bless them without belittling yourself. Run your race with endurance, fixing your eyes on me, the author and finisher of your faith. Remember, I have given you spiritual armor, not ornamental clothing, the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, the sword of the Spirit, and the shoes of peace. These are not symbolic poetry, but real spiritual weapons. Ephesians 6:1-18. Wear them daily. The battle is not merely against flesh and blood, but against spiritual powers that seek to derail your purpose. Victory is not won by physical might, but by spiritual authority rooted in my name. Do not neglect prayer. It is the lifeline of your strength. Do not neglect worship. It shifts atmospheres. Do not neglect my word. It is sharper than any double-edged sword. There will also be moments when my silence tests you. I may not always answer immediately, not because I am absent, but because I am strengthening your faith. Just as a teacher remains quiet during a test, so I may withhold immediate response to see if you will trust what I already taught you. Child, silence is not rejection. Delay is not denial. My timing is precise, and my ways are higher than yours. Trust that I am working, even when you cannot trace my hand. In seasons of testing, community will be vital. Do not isolate yourself completely. I will send people who carry encouragement, wisdom, and accountability. Receive them. Even Moses needed Aaron and Hur to lift his hands when they grew weary. Even Jesus sent disciples 2 by 2. You were not designed to carry destiny alone. Humility will allow you to receive help when pride tells you to pretend you are fine. Lean on the strength of community, for I often speak through them. Child, resilience also means seeing beyond the present moment. Do not confuse temporary suffering with permanent defeat. Every cross is followed by resurrection. Every winter gives way to spring. Every night eventually yields to morning. Do not judge your story by one chapter. I hold the ending, and it is victory. Paul wrote, "Our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." Romans 8:1-8. Lift your eyes, for the present pain is producing eternal weight of glory. So, when accusations rise, keep standing. When exhaustion whispers, keep standing. When betrayal cuts, keep standing. Not in your own strength, but in mine. I am your shield, your fortress, your sustainer. When you stumble, I will uphold you. When you fall, I will lift you again. When you feel empty, I will fill you afresh. You are not asked to endure by yourself. You are invited to endure with me. My grace is sufficient, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Child, let your testimony not be that you never faced trials, but that you never abandoned trust. Let it be said of you that storms came but did not sink you. Fires burned but did not consume you. Trials raged but did not break you. Your endurance will speak louder than eloquence. Your faithfulness will leave a greater mark than fame. Those who watch your resilience will know surely the Lord is with you. This is what it means to stand firm, not to escape all trials, but to remain steadfast within them, not to avoid the fire, but to walk through it unharmed. like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, with my presence beside you, not to bypass the valley, but to walk through it, fearing no evil. For I am with you. Child, this is resilience, holding the line, standing your ground, trusting my word until the end. And in the end, you will see that it was never your strength that sustained you, but mine. Child, resilience alone is not enough. You are not designed to fight these battles by sheer willpower. Flesh will fail, determination will falter, and emotions will betray you. That is why I placed my spirit within you. The same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead dwells inside you. Romans 8:1-1. You are not walking through valleys or climbing mountains by yourself. You are moving with the very breath of God empowering every step. Unity with my spirit is the key that unlocks victory not just once, but daily. Too often, my children attempt to accomplish divine assignments with human strategies. They seek advice from culture, adopt methods of the world, or lean on intellect more than intimacy with me. But child, battles that are spiritual cannot be won with carnal weapons. Strategies of man may bring temporary relief, but they cannot break eternal chains. My spirit alone discerns what your eyes cannot see and empowers what your hands cannot carry. Without him, efforts become exhausting. With him, burdens become light, for it is no longer you striving, but me working through you. Walking with my spirit requires sensitivity. He does not shout, he whispers. He does not force, he invites. If you drown his voice with constant noise, you will miss his gentle guidance. Create space to listen. Silence the endless chatter of distractions. Withdraw like Jesus did to lonely places to pray. For it is in quietness that clarity rises. My spirit is always speaking, but only those who attune their hearts can recognize his direction. Do not rush ahead with assumptions. Pause. Listen. Discern. One whisper from him can prevent years of missteps. Understand that the Spirit is not an optional companion. He is your lifeline. When Jesus ascended, he did not leave his disciples with strategies, finances, or armies. He left them with the promise of the Holy Spirit, and on the day of Pentecost, power descended. Ordinary fishermen became bold preachers. Timid followers became fearless witnesses, and a scattered group became a global movement. What changed? Not circumstances, but empowerment. Child, the same Spirit is within you. Do not diminish his role to comfort alone. He is comforter, yes, but also revealer, intercessor, advocate, and warrior. You will recognize his presence by the fruit he produces. Galatians 5:2-23 lists them clearly: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These are not personality traits you try harder to display. They are evidence of the Spirit's work inside you. When storms rage, yet peace anchors you. That is his fruit. When betrayal cuts deep, yet you respond with gentleness. That is his fruit. When opportunities to compromise appear, but you stand faithful. That is his fruit. Fruit is not manufactured. It is cultivated through abiding. Stay connected to the vine, and fruit will naturally emerge. But child, fruit is not the only evidence. There will also be gifts, prophecy, healing, discernment, tongues, miracles. These are not relics of the past, but realities of my kingdom. Do not shy away from them out of fear or misuse by others. What I give is holy, and when stewarded with humility, it becomes a weapon of breakthrough. Imagine walking into a room of confusion and speaking with divine clarity. Imagine laying hands on the sick and watching healing flow. Imagine discerning lies before they take root. This is not imagination. It is the Spirit's empowerment made manifest. Unity with the Spirit also demands surrender. He cannot fill what is already full of self. Lay down pride, ambition, and stubbornness. Yield your plans, even the good ones, to His direction. Sometimes He will reroute you, and it will feel inconvenient. Sometimes He will ask you to wait when you want to run, or to move when you prefer waiting. Obedience might stretch you, but it will always protect you. Consider Philip, who was instructed to leave a thriving ministry in Samaria to meet one Ethiopian eunuch in the desert. Logic may have questioned it, but obedience birthed salvation that spread to a nation. Will you trust me enough to let my Spirit redirect your steps, child? Walking in the Spirit also means embracing warfare. The moment you align with Him, opposition intensifies. But do not be afraid. The Spirit inside you is greater than any force outside you. 1 John 4:4. He gives discernment to recognize spiritual traps. He gives wisdom to dismantle generational patterns. He gives strength to stand when the enemy presses hardest. You are not unarmed. You are equipped with divine weapons. Use them. Pray in the Spirit. Declare my word. Worship until atmospheres shift. These are not empty rituals, but weapons that demolish strongholds. There will be days you feel weak, uncertain, or overwhelmed. In those moments, remember that the Spirit intercedes for you with groans too deep for words. Romans 8:2-6. Even when you cannot pray, heaven prays through you. Even when you lack words, He articulates your heart before the throne. You are never left voiceless. Your spirit has a language beyond your mind. Trust this partnership. Yield to it. Let it carry you when human strength collapses. Unity with the Spirit will also transform how you see others. He will soften your heart toward those who wounded you, giving you power to forgive. He will open your eyes to needs around you, prompting acts of kindness that plant seeds of the kingdom. He will remind you that people are not your enemies. Spiritual forces are. Without His perspective, bitterness festers, and division thrives. With His perspective, love flows even to the undeserving. That is why Jesus prayed, Father, forgive them even while nailed to a cross. Such supernatural love is possible only through the Spirit. Do not measure success by applause or numbers. Measure it by obedience to the Spirit's leading. Noah built an ark for years, while the world mocked. Jeremiah prophesied for decades without visible revival. Yet both fulfilled their call because they obeyed. Child, I am not asking you to produce results. I am asking you to yield to my Spirit. He will handle outcomes. Your role is faithfulness. His role is fruitfulness. There will be seasons when His guidance seems illogical. He may tell you to forgive when revenge feels justified. He may tell you to sow generosity when finances feel tight. He may tell you to speak truth when silence seems safer. Trust Him anyway. Every instruction carries a purpose beyond what you see. What looks like sacrifice is often a setup for multiplication. What looks like loss is often preparation for greater gain when you align with his whispers. You align with my eternal strategy. Child, walking in unity with my spirit will not always make the path easier, but it will make it victorious. Storms may still come, but you will stand unshaken. Giants may still roar, but you will see them fall. Valleys may still stretch long, but you will walk through with songs of praise. This is not resilience by will, it is resilience by partnership. You and I moving together as one, my spirit within you, my hand upon you, my glory around you. So lean not on your own understanding. Lean on me. Invita my spirit into every decision, every conversation, every battle. Do not reserve him for crises. Walk with him in ordinary days so that when extraordinary trials come, you are already aligned. Let your life become a living testimony of what happens when humanity yields to divinity. For in unity with my spirit, you will not merely survive, you will overcome, you will flourish, and you will reflect my kingdom on earth. Child, every battle you endure, every tear you shed, every prayer whispered in the midnight hour is not forgotten. Heaven records, heaven remembers, and heaven responds. What seems hidden to the world is fully visible to me. I see the sacrifices no one applauded. I see the obedience that cost you comfort. I see the choices you made when no one was watching. And I declare to you today, nothing you've done in faith is wasted. Not a single seed planted in hope will fail to bear fruit. Victory in me is not uncertain, it is guaranteed. The cross was not a partial triumph, but a complete conquest. When Jesus declared, "It is finished," he was not speaking of his suffering alone, he was declaring the defeat of sin, the crushing of death, and the overthrow of the enemy's claim. That victory is your inheritance. You do not fight for victory, you fight from victory. The outcome has already been written. The war has already been won. Your role is to stand firm in what has been secured. Yet, child, do not confuse victory with ease. My son's resurrection came after crucifixion. Crowns come after crosses. Triumph is forged in the furnace of trial. The road to glory often winds through valleys of shadows, but every valley has an exit, and every shadow must bow to light. You may stumble, but you will not be abandoned. You may be pressed, but you will not be crushed. You may face opposition, but you will always carry my spirit within you, and he is undefeatable. The enemy tries to convince you that delays are denials, but I say delays are preparations. He whispers that setbacks mean failure, but I say setbacks are setups for greater glory. He points to scars as shame, but I say scars are testimonies of survival. Do not let lies steal your vision of the finish line. Fix your eyes on the eternal, not the temporary. For these present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in you. Romans 8:1-8. The final reward is not a vague promise. It is a guaranteed inheritance reserved for the faithful. A crown of righteousness awaits those who finish the race and keep the faith. 2 Timothy 4:7-8. Eternal joy in my presence awaits those who endured with hope. Child, imagine standing before me and hearing the words every heart longs for. Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Matthew 2:5-1. That moment will outweigh every hardship, silence every doubt, and redeem every tear. But even now, Victory is not just future, it is present. Eternal life is not only a destination, but a reality that begins the moment you believe. You are already seated with Christ in heavenly places. Ephesians 2:6. You already carry authority over darkness. You already have access to peace that surpasses understanding. Stop living as though you are defeated when you carry the DNA of a conqueror. Victory is not a distant dream, it is your current identity. Walk like it, speak like it, live like it. Child, my victory also means vindication. I will overturn every false word spoken against you. I will expose every hidden scheme designed to harm you. I will redeem every loss and restore beyond what you imagined. Joseph was betrayed by brothers, enslaved, and imprisoned, but none of it was wasted. Every injustice positioned him for destiny. What others meant for evil, I turned for good. The same is true for you. Your story will not end in shame, it will end in glory. Do not be surprised when battles intensify near breakthrough. Opposition grows fiercest on the edge of victory. The enemy is threatened by what I am birthing through you. When resistance rises, let it remind you that you are close to fulfillment. Push a little longer, trust a little deeper, persevere a little further, for in due season, you will reap if you do not give up. Galatians 6:9. Child, there will come a day when time itself will bow to eternity. The trumpet will sound, the skies will split, and the King will return in glory. Every knee will bow, every tongue confess, and every tear will be wiped away. Death will be no more, pain will be no more, darkness will be no more. This is the final victory, the restoration of all things. Until that day, hold fast to hope. Do not live as though despair has the last word, because resurrection always has the last word. Your reward is not only in what you receive, but in who you become. Each battle refines you. Each trial shapes you. Each act of endurance chisels your spirit into the likeness of Christ. You are being transformed from glory to glory. The crown you will wear in eternity is being forged right now in the furnace of faith. That is why James wrote, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial." Because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised. James 1:1-2. Do not compare your journey to others. Some appear to run faster. Some seem to climb higher. But your race is uniquely designed for you. Victory is not measured by speed, but by faithfulness. The thief on the cross lived a broken life, yet received paradise because he turned to me in faith. Meanwhile, others who boast in their works but lack surrender will miss the crown. It is not about how much you did, but about whether you trusted me fully. Child, the heavens celebrate, not when you appear flawless, but when you remain faithful. Do not despise small steps. Each prayer, each act of kindness, each moment of trust builds into a testimony of triumph. Faithfulness in hidden places leads to reward in eternal spaces. When you choose obedience over convenience, when you choose truth over compromise, when you choose me over the world, you are laying up treasures in heaven where moth and rust cannot destroy. Victory is also generational. The choices you make today plant seeds for those who come after you. Your prayers will outlive you. Your obedience will become a legacy. Your faith will write a story. Your descendants will read with gratitude. Abraham did not see every promise in his lifetime, yet his faith birthed nations. In the same way, your faith is shaping destinies beyond your sight. Do not underestimate the ripple of your endurance. So, child, lift your head. You are not trudging toward defeat. You are marching toward triumph. Sing even in the valley. Praise even in the prison. Rejoice even in the fire. These are not signs of denial, but declarations of victory. Chains break when you worship. Darkness trembles when you declare truth. Heaven moves when you stand in faith. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a vessel of victory. And when you finally cross the finish line, the reward will not be temporary applause, but eternal glory. No pain will follow you there. No sorrow will shadow you there. Only unbroken joy, unending peace, and the everlasting embrace of your Father. Child, this is the promise that anchors you. Victory is certain, and reward is sure. Hold on. Endure. Believe, for the best is not behind you, it is ahead. Child, you are stepping into a season unlike any you have ever known. The former cycles are breaking. The old patterns are dissolving. And a new horizon is unfolding before your eyes. What once felt locked is opening. What once felt delayed is accelerating. What once felt impossible is becoming reality under the weight of my promise. For I am the Lord of times and seasons, and I declare that your appointed time has come. This is not a random shift, it is a divine alignment. Seeds that were buried long ago, watered with tears and faith, are now sprouting into visible harvest. Prayers whispered in silence, seemingly forgotten, are echoing loudly in heaven's chambers, and their answers are now cascading into your life. The waiting has not been wasted, it has been working. Every delay was a setup for a greater release. Every closed door was positioning you for the right one to swing open. Child, step forward with courage, for the new season is not near, it is here. The atmosphere around you is changing. Can you sense it? The heaviness that once pressed on you is lifting. The confusion that once clouded your mind is clearing. The fear that once paralyzed your steps is dissolving in the light of my presence. This is the dawn of breakthrough. And dawn does not ask permission from night, it simply arrives. The darkness cannot resist it. The shadows cannot stop it. When I declare a new day, the creation itself aligns to bring it forth. But child, do not merely observe this shift, participate in it. A harvest requires laborers. An open door requires movement. A promise requires faith. I am not only shifting atmospheres around you, I am stirring faith within you. Your posture must change with the season. You cannot carry yesterday's mindset into today's opportunity. You cannot wear garments of mourning in a season of celebration. Shake off despair. Remove the ashes. Put on the garment of praise. Walk like one who has already entered the promise. Because in my sight, you already have. This season is marked by restoration. I am restoring what was stolen. I am redeeming what was broken. I am multiplying what was diminished. Like Job, who lost everything, yet received double for his former trouble. You too will see restitution in ways you cannot calculate. Relationships, long fractured, will find healing. Dreams, once buried, will rise again. Opportunities thought gone will reappear in greater measure. For I am not a God who only gives back, I increase beyond what was taken. Yet, restoration is not only material, it is also spiritual. I am reviving your hunger for my presence. I am awakening your ears to hear my whisper. I am quickening your spirit to discern my movement. This is a season where intimacy with me becomes your greatest weapon and your greatest treasure. Do not be distracted by the noise of the world. Lean into the still, small voice that directs your path. For strategies of heaven are being released not to the loudest, but to the closest. Child, understand this. Acceleration does not mean chaos. What I release will come swiftly, but it will also come with order. When the Red Sea parted, Israel did not run in panic. They crossed in formation, each family moving together. In the same way, I am not calling you to frantic striving, but to steady obedience. Align your steps with my rhythm. Move. When I say move, wait when I say wait. Obedience is the sail that catches the wind of acceleration. Without it, even the strongest wind will not move you forward. This new season is also a season of exposure. Hidden motives will be revealed. Secret plots will be uncovered. What has been concealed in darkness will be brought into light. Do not fear exposure, for it will vindicate the righteous and dismantle the schemes of the wicked. You will see lies collapse under the weight of truth. You will see masks removed and true faces revealed. Do not be shaken when things are uncovered. This is my justice at work. Child, lift your eyes higher. This is bigger than personal breakthrough. It is generational. The seeds of faith you plant now will grow into trees that shade your descendants. The prayers you pray now will echo long after your voice is silent. The obedience you walk in today will carve paths for those who come behind you. Like Abraham, your faith will outlive you, becoming a foundation for nations. Do not think small. Dream in generations. For I am a God who blesses to 1,000 generations of those who love me. This season also requires discernment. Not every opportunity is divine. Not every open door leads to destiny. Some doors are distractions, designed to pull you from the true path. That is why you must lean on my Spirit, who will guide you into all truth. He will give you peace that surpasses logic and clarity that cuts through confusion. Trust Him more than appearances. Trust Him more than opinions. For the season you are entering requires precision, not guesswork. Child, I am surrounding you with new alliances, people carrying fresh oil, pure motives, and divine strategies are coming into your life. They will not drain you, they will strengthen you. They will not compete with you, they will complete you. They are not sent to distract, but to propel. Welcome them with discernment and gratitude, for they are answers to prayers you forgot you prayed. Together, you will accomplish what would have been impossible alone. And yet, do not forget the greatest alliance you will ever have is me. I am your shepherd, your guide, your defender, your source. Do not idolize the instruments I send. Honor the hand that sends them. Stay rooted in me, and you will never be uprooted by storms. Abide in my word, and you will bear fruit that remains. Dwell in my presence, and you will walk in strength that never fades. Child, I say to you again, the season has shifted. The night is over. The dawn has come. Do not cling to yesterday when I am doing a new thing today. See it. Embrace it. Walk in it. Your life will testify that I am faithful, that I restore, that I fulfill every promise spoken. Step forward. The future is not distant. It is unfolding before you now. Child, hear me clearly. The promise of harvest is not simply a moment of abundance. It is a call to stewardship. Blessings are not given merely for your comfort. They are entrusted for kingdom purpose. I am not only filling your hands, I am training your heart. I am not only opening doors, I am refining your character to walk through them with integrity. The new season requires a new level of responsibility, because what I pour out must be carried with purity. Do not mistake ease for growth. Growth often comes through stretching, pruning, and refining. Just as a vine is pruned to bear more fruit, so have you been pruned in past seasons. The cutting felt painful, but it was purposeful. Branches that bore no fruit were removed. Excess weight that hindered your growth was stripped away. What remained was not less, but more potential, more strength, more capacity. Child, I have not wasted your pain. I have redirected it into purpose. This is why your foundation matters. A house cannot be built high if the ground beneath it is shallow. Likewise, the greatness of what I am constructing in your life requires deep roots in my word and unshakable trust in my presence. When storms rise, and they will, you will not fall if you are anchored in me. Do not seek height without depth. Do not chase visibility without stability. For the measure of your fruit will depend on the depth of your root. Child, discipline will guard you in this season. Do not despise discipline. It is not punishment but preparation. Prayer is not optional. It is essential. The word is not decoration. It is sustenance. Fasting is not ritual. It is alignment. Worship is not entertainment. It is warfare. These rhythms of discipline are not burdens, they are lifelines. In seasons of acceleration, distractions multiply. Discipline keeps you steady when momentum tries to pull you off course. Guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. In times of abundance, pride lurks at the door. Success whispers lies that independence is safer than dependence. But remember, apart from me, you can do nothing. Your strength is borrowed. Your wisdom is received. Your provision is supplied. Stay humble, for humility attracts grace. But pride precedes downfall. The enemy fears your fruit, but he also studies your weaknesses. Guard them, strengthen them. Invite my spirit to fortify every vulnerable place, so that abundance does not become the doorway to destruction. Child, the company you keep matters more than you realize. In this season, not everyone can go with you. Some relationships served a purpose for a time, but their season is complete. Others may be familiar, but familiarity is not always faithful. Discern who builds and who drains, who pushes you toward me and who pulls you away. Do not cling to connections I am asking you to release. Separation is not rejection, it is redirection. I prune relationships as much as I prune branches, so that your destiny can unfold without hindrance. Understand that influence will increase in this season. But influence is not for ego, it is for impact. People will look to you, some for guidance, some for hope, others simply to see if what I promised is real. Live in such a way that your life points back to me, not to yourself. Let your testimony be a window, not a mirror. A mirror reflects self, a window reveals me. Influence is stewardship, and I am entrusting it to you not to magnify your name, but to glorify mine. Child, perseverance remains your ally. Do not believe the lie that breakthrough means the end of battles. Breakthrough brings new levels, and new levels attract new resistance. But take heart, I have overcome the world. The giants that rise in this land are not stronger than the God who goes before you. The walls that seem high are not higher than the shout of praise I put in your mouth. Do not retreat when opposition comes. Advance with the confidence that my hand is upon you. In this season, I am sharpening your vision. What once looked blurry is coming into focus. You will see opportunities clearly, but you will also see dangers clearly. Vision is not only about direction, but also about protection. I give sight to guard you from deception, to steer you away from counterfeit promises, to anchor you in truth. Pay attention to dreams, impressions, and confirmations. I am speaking in ways you once overlooked. Do not dismiss the subtle. My spirit often whispers before he thunders. Child, let generosity mark you in this season. The measure you release determines the measure you receive. You are blessed to be a blessing, not a réservoir. A river that stops flowing becomes stagnant. A river that keeps flowing becomes life-giving. Do not hoard what I release, whether resources, wisdom, or encouragement. Sow freely, for the harvest multiplies in open hands, not clenched fists. Remember, generosity is not measured by amount, but by obedience. Give as I lead, and you will never lack. I am also calling you to bold declarations. Your words shape atmospheres. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. In past seasons, you spoke from pain and saw pain multiply. In this season, speak from faith and see faith multiply. Prophesy to dry bones and watch them live. Declare my promises over your circumstances and watch them align. Do not underestimate your voice. It is not merely sound, it is seed. Every word spoken in faith plants future realities. Child, unity will be crucial. The enemy thrives in division but trembles at unity. Guard against offense. It is one of his sharpest weapons. Forgive quickly. Release bitterness before it festers. Walk in love, even when misunderstood. Unity is not sameness, it is harmony. Just as different instruments create one symphony, so diverse voices create one sound of victory when aligned under my spirit. Seek peace. Pursue reconciliation. And let your life echo the prayer of my Son, that they may be one. Finally, remember that the ultimate promise is not the harvest, but me. Abundance without intimacy is emptiness. Success without presence is failure. Do not trade fellowship for fruit. Sit at my feet more than you run in my fields. Martha worked, but Mary chose intimacy, and I declared that she chose the better part. Choose wisely, for in my presence is fullness of joy, and at my right hand are pleasures forevermore. Child, I am shaping you into a vessel fit for kingdom purpose. Yield to my hand. Trust my process. Celebrate the harvest. But never forget the harvester, for I am your portion, your reward, your exceeding great treasure. The season is abundant, but the source is eternal. Fix your eyes on me, and you will not only endure this season, you will thrive in it, leaving a legacy that echoes into eternity. Child, as this journey of revelation draws to its conclusion, I want you to understand that the story of your life is not random. Every chapter has been written with intention. Every trial carried hidden treasure. Every delay held divine strategy. What felt wasted has been redeemed. What felt broken has become the very foundation for beauty. You are not standing in a valley of defeat. You are standing on the threshold of destiny. The end of one season is simply the beginning of another, and the author of your life holds the pen still. Do not look back with regret. What is behind you is no longer in control of what is before you. I am the one who makes all things new. The ashes of yesterday cannot compare with the glory of tomorrow. The mistakes you feared would define you have been covered by grace. The wounds that once bled with sorrow are now scars that testify of survival. You carry proof of my faithfulness. Let no voice convince you that your story ended in failure. It is unfolding in victory. Child, destiny is not a distant dream. It is a present calling. The atmosphere around you has shifted because heaven has leaned in. The angels assigned to you have not been idle. They have been preparing the way, removing unseen obstacles, and aligning details you cannot yet see. You thought you were walking alone, but you have never taken a step unaccompanied, even in silence. I was speaking, even in shadows. I was guiding, even in loss. I was securing. The unseen world has been at work on your behalf, and now it converges into visible reality. Do not be afraid of the size of the call. I would not place it upon you if I had not already placed within you what is needed to fulfill it. You are not underqualified. You are divinely equipped. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells within you. That power is not symbolic, it is tangible, active, and unstoppable. When you feel weak, lean into that power. When you feel uncertain, trust that wisdom. When you feel opposed, stand in that authority. You are not ordinary, you are chosen, sealed, and sent. Child, legacy is the fruit of obedience. What you build with me will outlast you. Generations will eat from the trees you plant today. Seeds sown in faith will bear fruit in seasons you may never see. This is why faithfulness matters more than fame. The applause of men fades quickly, but the approval of heaven echoes eternally. Live not for temporary crowns, but for eternal reward. Let your choices today become testimonies tomorrow. Let your obedience today become inheritance for your children's children. The time has come for you to step fully into alignment. Hesitation will only delay what is already prepared. Fear will only blind you to what is already secured. Do not negotiate with doubt, silence it with truth. Do not dance with compromise, cut it off with conviction. The urgency of heaven is upon you, because the timing of heaven is perfect. What was once a promise is now a reality, waiting for your yes. Give me your yes, not half-hearted, not conditional, but complete. For a surrendered yes unlocks doors no effort could ever open. Child, revival is not a distant event, it is a fire I am kindling in you. The flames you carry will ignite atmospheres. Your presence will shift rooms, not because of you, but because of me within you. This is why purity matters. A vessel can only carry fire if it is clean. Do not quench the spirit with compromise, fan the flame with holiness. Let worship be your oxygen, prayer your fuel, and faith your spark. This fire is not for display, but for transformation. It will spread not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit. There will be opposition. Yes, every gatekeeper of darkness resists the light, but light always wins. Darkness is not the equal of light. It is simply the absence of it. When you shine, shadows retreat. When you speak truth, lies crumble. When you walk in love, hate dissolves. Do not fear resistance. See it as confirmation. The enemy only attacks what threatens him, and you are now a threat. But greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. Walk boldly, for you are backed by heaven's armies. Child, Rest is also part of this calling. Do not confuse rest with passivity. Rest is trust expressed. It is the declaration that you are not sustaining yourself, I am sustaining you. In rest, clarity comes. In rest, strength multiplies. In rest, strategies are revealed. Even in creation, I rested, not because I was weary, but because I was complete. Rest reminds you that the weight of the mission does not rest on your shoulders, but on mine. Labor with diligence. Yes, but rest with confidence. Lift your eyes beyond the temporal. The harvest of this world is only a shadow of the eternal harvest to come. Every soul touched, every life healed, every heart restored points to eternity where no tear will fall, no night will remain, no sorrow will exist. Child, remember earth is temporary. Heaven is home. Do not anchor yourself too tightly to what is fading. Live with eternity in view. For eternity is where true reward awaits. And now I speak this final charge. Go forth in courage. Go forth in purity. Go forth in unshakable faith. Do not shrink back when challenges rise. Face them with the confidence that you are chosen. Do not hide when opportunities come. Embrace them with the certainty that you are prepared. Do not doubt when storms surround. Stand firm in the truth that I am with you always. Child, I seal this journey with my promise. You are not abandoned. You are appointed. You are not forgotten. You are favored. You are not wandering. You are directed. The days ahead are not uncertain. They are secured by my hand. The future is not chaos. It is covenant. You will not stumble into destiny. You will walk into it with deliberate steps ordered by me. Lift your head, for your redemption is near. Open your heart, for your time has come. Stretch out your hands, for the harvest is here. And as you step forward, know this: my love surrounds you. My spirit empowers you, and my presence goes with you, forever and always. I am your God, and you are my child. Thank you for listening to today's message. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that together we may receive the living word, build an unshakable faith, and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.